you for His Excellency, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, Dr. Raymond, Dr. Salome, for the National Police Service Commission. We thank you for the IG, for the DIGs and the DCI, together with Commissioner General Prisons. We thank you in a special way, good Lord, for all officers of all ranks and file. Good Lord, we thank you for your faithfulness and goodness throughout the year 2024. Regardless of the challenges we have encountered, we have been resilient and we have been conquerors. Good Lord, we commit the strategic plans for the National Police and also for the prisons 2023-2027 to you, God, that we may implement it successfully and efficiently. May you, God, give us resources, goodwill, cooperation, collaboration, and team spirit to achieve the desired goals. We pray all this, trusting and also praising the name of God, the Most High, forever and ever. Amen.
With your permission, Your Excellency, I request we take our seats. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Your Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Principal Secretaries led by PS Interior Dr. Raymond Omolo, Your Excellency Neil Wigan, British High Commissioner to Kenya, Mr. Douglas Kanja, Inspector General of the National Police Service, DIGs and DCI, Mr. Patrick Arandu, Commissioner General of Prisons, development partners, senior government officials and heads of departments, all uniformed officers present. Your Excellency, to start us off on the National Police Service and State Department for Correctional Service strategic launch for 2023-2027, allow me to invite the Secretary Administration, National Police Service, Ms. Bernice Lamadeket, to start us off with a few remarks. Let's put our hands together as she now approaches the stage. Karibu.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Acting Minister for Interior, Mr. Wycliffe Mudavadi, the Principal Secretaries present, led by Dr. Raymond Omolo, Inspector General of Police, Chairs of Constitutional Commission and Parliamentary Commission, we recognize you, representative of the European Union, UNODC, representative from the government, ministries and state departments, staff of National Police Service, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of National Police Service, allow me, Your Excellency, to take pleasure in welcoming you to grace this occasion of uncovering the 2023-2027 period strategic plan. Your Excellency, the plan is the foremost policy document in which the implementation of the projects and programs that are envisioned in the plan are going to be implemented and brought into action. The plan, Your Excellency, has taken into account MT4, Vision 2030,
greater impact and common good. The plan further underscores the government's key priority areas outlined in the Bottom-Up Economic Transformation Agenda, MTP4, Vision 2030, Maraga Report, as well as the international standards that include the African Union Agenda 2063 Master Plan and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. It is from this progressive and forward-thinking vision that our 5-year strategic plan has taken into consideration innovative strategies that will see the department take this country into greater heights. Your Excellency, in this strategic plan, our resource gap is approximately 105 billion over the planned period. However, we have invited and we have been inviting development partners and stakeholders who have worked with us to stand in the gap and help us provide correctional services to our people. We cannot understate how much the development partners, and local non-state actors have helped us now and in the past. It is our hope that we will further strengthen these partnerships and harness the goodwill that they have all given us for the betterment of correctional services. Your Excellency, allow me to share the gratitude of the staff of the State Department for Correctional Services for working day and night to have this strategic plan developed. It is now my humble duty to invite my colleague, Principal Secretary for Interior, Raymond Omolo, to make his remarks. Asanteni sana, may God bless us all and bless our beloved country and continue to bless the work of our hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you, PS Salome. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, the Honorable William Ruto, Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Acting Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration, my PS colleagues, PS Julius Bitok, the PS for Immigration and Citizen Services, PS Salome Biako, the PS for Correctional Services, the Chair of the Committee on Security and Administration, the Honorable Tongoyo, the Inspector General of Police, your two DIGs, the DCI, our development partners, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. Your Excellency, let me just quickly begin by appreciating the support that you have given to all of us and the fact that you've been able to match your commitments by action. A few weeks ago, we were here when you launched the strategic framework that would guide the implementation of the reforms that were delivered by the Maraga Task Force. Your Excellency, one of the first assignments you took when you came into office was to set up the Maraga Task Force that looked into a number of issues that bedevil the services. And today, 2 out of the 3 services are represented here. That is the National Police Service and the Kenya Prison Service. And as part of that journey, the strategic plans that are being launched today, to a large extent, speak to that strategic framework. Number 2 is that out of that strategic framework, we will be working on coming up with a national policing policy. And it's at an advanced stage, and early next year, after public participation, we will be taking it to Parliament. And this is an important policy as it looks holistically into several actors or agencies that are involved in policing. In total, there are a number of 32 agencies that are involved in policing. And these strategic frameworks, the strategic plans that we are launching today would help us towards that journey. Your Excellency, lastly, before I speak, before I take up my seat, is to give a special mention to the chair of the Parliamentary Committee on Security and Administration. The Honorable Tongoyo, just rise so that then we can appreciate you. On behalf of my colleagues, he has provided the guidance and leadership and the support from the legislative arm of government. Lastly, let me also ask PS Bitok to just rise so that we also acknowledge you. Now, PS Bitok has been responsible for the digitization of government services, and the bulk of them are services that are offered within the ministry. Lastly, with humility, allow me to invite the Prime Cabinet Secretary, who will make his remarks and invite you to speak to us. Thank you.
Your Excellency the President, before I make my remarks, taking cue from your advice, I think it would be a grave mistake not to acknowledge the chair of the relevant departmental committee, and therefore been instructed to give you some 2 to 3 minutes for you to make some remarks before I speak. Thank you. Honorable Tongo.
Thank you so much, the PCS, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Commander-in-Chief, the PSS President, the IG, and the service commanders. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I wasn't really prepared to speak, but I want really to appreciate the opportunity, and I want to take this opportunity as well really to say a big thank you and a big congratulations to the National Police Service for launching their strategic plan. Your Excellency, I should start by really appreciating that when you took over, from day one, your first actually assignment duty in office was to give the financial independence to the National Police Service. It was truly a statement of your commitment to really modernize and change the police service to be the professional service, a service that is people-centered, and the strategic plan, I'm sure, in many ways, talk to this here to a big extent. The chairman of the committee that oversee the service, I want really, Your Excellency, give my testimony that under the leadership of the IG Kanja and the service commanders here, and of course the PS and our great lady here, we have a team to steer the service and the country forward in the right direction, only that we need also to give our support, both from the executive, from the parliament, and all actually partners here. And I want really to appreciate all of us that we have actually always given our support whenever we are called upon to do so. So I want to give my commitment on behalf of Parliament and the committee that we always rise to the occasion whenever we are called upon to, so that we make this service together a service that will live to the aspiration of Kenyan people, because it's our duty always to do so. With those few remarks, I want to say again a big thank you, na Mungu awabariki, and we are together, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Principal Secretary is present, the Inspector General of the National Police Service, Commissioner General of Kenya Prison Service, stakeholders and partners who include the British High Commissioner and all those present today, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am delighted to join you here on this unique occasion when His Excellency the President will launch 2 strategic plans, the National Police Service Strategic Plan 2023 to 2027 and the State Department of Correctional Services Strategic Plan 2023 to 2027. These 2 plans highlight the important role of the National Police Service and correctional services in national security and public safety that are critically essential for our economic and social development. The National Police Service Strategic Plan underlines the government's commitment to ensure that the National Police Service delivers on its vision of being a world-class police service and upholds its mission of providing professional, innovative, and people-centered services to promote a safe and secure society. On its part, the State Department for Correctional Services Strategic Plan focuses on enhancing security through containment, supervision, rehabilitation, and reintegration of offenders into the society. It also highlights critical strategies for improving correctional services in the country. The 2 strategic plans are anchored on the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and the fourth medium-term plan, they support the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and Kenya Vision 2030. The strategic plans are particularly important tools for enhancing development effectiveness and must be aligned with our national priorities. They are expected to promote a conducive environment for the people to enhance their livelihood, opportunities, and for business to prosper. While each of the strategic plans is uniquely tailored to the mandate of the respective service, both are geared towards the government's agenda for a more inclusive society. They enhance opportunities for dialogue with people and foster community partnerships based on respect for the rule of law, democracy, and human rights. Constructive engagement with citizens is necessary to resolve emerging conflicts in the delivery of police and correctional services. We must seek to promote trust and understanding that will ensure the security of our citizens, improve the business climate, and stimulate Kenya's socio-economic transformation. I wish to reaffirm the government's commitment to support the National Police Service and the State Department for Correctional Services to scale up the initiatives undertaken during their previous strategic plan periods. We promise to work with you on this journey. Collaboration with key stakeholders, including the communities you serve, is vital to delivering the impact envisaged under the new strategic plans. I therefore encourage you to nurture a unified and effective approach through strategic partnerships with key players in the security and correctional services ecosystem. Let me conclude by urging all of us gathered here, and indeed all Kenyans, to support and work with the National Police Service and the State Department for Correctional Services to promote unity, peace, and stability for the ultimate prosperity of all Kenyans. Your Excellency, with your permission, let me just flag two issues. One, not too long ago, I joined the police and the service and the correctional services in remembrance of the fallen heroes from our security forces. And it was definitely a very moving moment. And Your Excellency, I just want to recap this because when the citation was being made of the circumstances under which each of the fallen officers had passed, there were particularly two touching comments. All are very touching, but let me just flag two. There's the aspect that was terrorist-based. Now, there was another one where the tragedy came because this officer was safeguarding our national examinations. And for some reason, some unruly people wanted to interfere with that process. And this officer died in the line of duty, protecting exams for the young people of this country. The second one was a valiant officer who also died because there was need to protect 6 young girls from gender-based violence, particularly the FGM. And this officer, again, had to lose their lives. But this is a story that is not quite told by a lot of people, the public, and sometimes even the Fourth Estate. And it is important that once in a while, we do not lose sight of the fact that it is not just the process of keeping peace, but we also see extremely heart-rendering moments that our officers get involved in as they safeguard the well-being of our people. Finally, Your Excellency, before I call you on the podium, I also just want to highlight that when we were preparing for this program, and I came to consult you, you made one very fundamental statement. You said that let this event be a joint event because the work of the security forces is intertwined. It's complementary. And you wanted an opportunity, rather than separating, to have a moment where these strategic plans are launched together because they speak to each other. And I just want to acknowledge that because it is the issue of addressing the silo mentality in government. We are one government. And it is so important that we collaborate, and it's on that principle that I wish to express my appreciation, because clearly you are telling us work as one and do not go different paths if we want to deliver for the people of Kenya. With these few remarks, it is now my humble duty and honor to request you all to be upstanding so that we can invite His Excellency the President to address us. Piga makofi kidogo. Asante sana. Your Excellency the President.
Thank you. Thank you very much, PCS. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Please take your seats. Thank you very much. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be with you as we launch the National Police Service Strategic Plan 2023-2027 and the State of Correctional Services Strategic Plan for the same period. This is because we have before us two blueprints which not only reaffirm our steadfast commitment to the safety and security of citizens and their property, but also establishes a robust framework for developing a modern, efficient, responsive police service and prison service. Anchored in these strategic plans is a bold and clear step forward, creating a secure environment for where each and every citizen can thrive. National security, public order, and the safety of every citizen are the underlying enablers of all economic activity. I am also pleased to note that this plan is firmly rooted in Article 243 of the Constitution and the National Police Service Act of 2011, and is dedicated to fostering a people-centric, service-driven public order and national security system that aligns with our broader national development framework. With this strategic plan, the National Police Service is positioned to develop robust capacity to effectively address current and emerging security challenges, ensuring that Kenya remains a stable, prosperous, and safe nation, that our economy is conducive for sustainable growth. The 2023-2027 strategic plan outlines 8 key goals that are integrated to transforming the National Police Service and aligning it with a broader national security agenda. First, our investments in infrastructure, equipment, and capacity are aimed at significantly enhancing service delivery. This is the context in which we must understand the value of projects like the deployment of mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles in regions such as the North Rift, Northeastern, and Upper Eastern, the operationalization of the National Police Hospital in Kanyonyo and Mbagathi, the completion of the DCI National Forensic Laboratory, and the establishment of the National Police Leadership Academy. These initiatives demonstrate our dedication to modernizing the service. Additionally, the establishment of the Integrated Communication Command and Control Center will improve operational efficiency and coordination. Alongside these hardware improvements, we are prioritizing the welfare of our police officers. A significant component of our national policing reform framework is the implementation of the 271 actionable recommendations from the Maraca Task Force. And we all remember we were here a few months ago to make sure that we have a team that will see to it that every recommendation that was made in that task force is achieved in the time frame which was set out. These timely and ambitious and wide-ranging reforms include enhancement of the terms of service, working conditions, human capital development, and institutional frameworks to ensure our officers are well-equipped, continuously trained, motivated, and supported to perform their duties with professionalism and dedication in a dynamic operational environment. Let me say the following, that I did make a commitment that we are going to look into the terms of service, salaries and many other things, insurance package for our police officers. I'm very happy that we have implemented phase 1 of the recommendations that was made by Maraga. And I want to commit that all the other phases are equally going to be implemented. I did commit that we are going to engage in a robust modernization program of our police force, of our police service. Already, in the last 2 years, we have spent 9 billion shillings in the modernization program. I did commit that we are going to spend 20 billion. In actual fact, we are going to spend 28 billion in the modernization program of our police service. I am very happy that some of the equipment has already been supplied, some are on the way, and we are beginning to feel the impact of police modernization in the security improvements around the country. I want to commend the leadership of the police and all the policemen and women for what they are doing in matters protecting citizens, their property, and their lives. I must commend them. Congratulations. I want to commit that that process of modernization, I intend to see it to completion in the next 2 years so that we can have the equipment necessary, the vehicles necessary, the ammunition necessary to protect our country. I'm also confident that, as I said before, we will engage the police men and women so that we can have an appropriate uniform. I know that has been agreed upon, and what is awaiting now is for us to roll out and make sure that we kit our policemen and women with uniform that gives them an inspiration to work and to go forward. So again, that is something we are going to roll out. I know that we are also short on the police vehicles. We have many police stations in different parts of the country that do not have adequate transport. Again, we have already committed ourselves to engage and procure the first 1,000 vehicles. The procurement did not go very well. We are repeating the procurement. By early next year, we will deliver the first 1,000 vehicles. We intend to deliver 3,000 vehicles for our police stations, men and women, to be able to discharge their responsibilities as is appropriate. I also know that our policemen and women live in very difficult situations. The good news is that we have completed the first 582 housing units, 1,000 are under construction, and 17,000 additional houses for the police. We are at the tail end of procurement. It is our intention to make sure that as many as possible of our policemen and women who discharge a very sensitive responsibility of protecting all of us, they work in conditions that help them to discharge that responsibility better. We are going to be working together to ensure that as part of our institutional housing, not just the police, but also our military and the prisons, including the NYS, will benefit from this whole housing agenda that we are rolling out. I am very happy that we've begun to see the first houses completed. I've said 582 are already completed. Another 1,000 are different stages of construction, and we are completing the procurement of contractors for an additional 17,000 units so that our policemen and women living in different parts of the country and working hard to protect and secure our nation live in conditions that are that help them to discharge that responsibility. Also, the aspect of technology. We have agreed that we need a modern police service, and the aspect of technology, making sure that we digitize, including the famous OB. It must be digitized so that entries into the OB cannot be compromised by anybody, and we can have a clear follow-up on how this is going to go forward. So we will work together. I am confident with the leadership that we have at Vigilance House. I am very confident with the leadership we have at the Office of the President to make sure that we work together in this endeavor. And I commend the National Service for placing technology at the core of the strategic plan that we are launching today. In today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, many offenses and security threats are enabled by digital technology, and the ability to detect, disrupt, deter, and investigate these threats depend on our capacity to operate effectively in a high technology environment. By integrating ICT into surveillance, investigations, and crime deterrence, and utilizing technologies such as drones for border security, enhancing the Directorate of Criminal Investigations cybersecurity capabilities, and bolstering the IC3 under the Inspector General's office, we are taking decisions and actions to ensure that the NPS stay ahead of emerging threats. It is equally important to uphold the highest standards of professionalism and accountability. I am therefore pleased that this strategic plan identifies the strengthening of oversight mechanisms, such as the Internal Police Affairs Unit, and collaboration with agencies like the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and the Commission for Administrative Justice as viable mechanisms for combating corruption, upholding human rights, and maintaining public trust. Additionally, this strategy leverages on our commitment to the operationalization and the financial autonomy of NPS as critical enablers of effective policing. With the operational budget now directly managed by the Inspector General, the National Police Service has the financial independence necessary to utilize resources efficiently, enhance service delivery, and maintain operational flexibility to deal with emerging challenges in different parts of the country. Note that the launch of this strategic plan is not an end in itself. Instead, it marks the beginning of concerted efforts that must be undertaken consistently and with exceptional focus to achieve results. A strategy that fails to execute its mission or achieve its vision is an organizational failure, a professional misdirection, and a wasteful error. Therefore, this strategic plan is a call to action to begin the journey of transforming the National Police Service into a trusted, professional, and efficient institution in order to achieve our collective vision for a safer Kenya, position our national security system as a guarantor of progress, and prioritize professional service to every citizen. The reforms proposed in the Maraga Task Force report and which have been adopted by the security services concerned also extend to the Kenya National Prison Service. Consequently, the construction of 28,000 units in the prison service will be agreed upon, and I have given very firm instructions this morning that we need to agree on the mechanism for unlocking that potential. Our men and women service in the correctional services live in very difficult conditions as well. In addition, the prison service will begin leasing their land. Again, I have said we have so much land in the hands of government. We have seen what commercialization of these lands can do. There is every reason why we must work with the private sector to commercialize the pieces of land that we have, produce food, produce other products, so that we can make these assets much more useful to the different government agencies. To further improve transport and service provision, the State Department of Correctional Service will also be included in the vehicle leasing program so that we can better improve their fleet of transport, both for officers and for prisoners. Now that we have launched this National Police Service strategy and the Correctional Service strategy, what we all want to see going forward. You know, because as I've said, launching this strategic plan is just the beginning, but it can be monumental failure if we don't move the next steps. And as you reflect on this question, remember that our national policing and security framework is constitutionally mandated to ensure safety and prosperity without undermining rights and freedoms. We aspire to remain a secure democracy, which means you must perform your duties in a manner that promotes maximum safety and freedom. Kenyans should experience a shift in policing from practices characterized by extrajudicial illegality, impunity, and excesses to an approach defined by adherence to due process and the rule of law, fostering excellent relations with communities and inspiring trust among citizens. I understand very well the balance that we have to make.
I think your lisp is cute.
And we must operate within the parameters set out in the Constitution. We must protect the lives, property, liberties of citizens and our democracy. That is an imperative. And it is a constitutional requirement of our security agencies. On the other hand, we must also, as citizens, respect, support, and work with our security agencies as they discharge that responsibility. It cannot be the case that while our security men and women are doing their utmost, they are being attacked, they are being vilified, they have no support. It cannot work. We have to strike a balance as the police and other security agencies discharge their responsibility, citizens on their part. We must live in accordance with the rule of law. We must respect the police. We must work with the police, support the police so that they can protect our assets, they can protect life, and they can protect our stability. There must be a balance. On the subject of femicide, I must commend the police that they have arrested every person that has been profiled who has engaged in femicide, and they have been charged. But as parents, me being one of them, as citizens, the religious community, we must step up because there is a moral issue around what is going on in that space. And parents need to do more. The religious community need to do more as the police do their part. It is not a matter that we can say we leave it to the police. Yes, the police will arrest, the police will deal with many of those people who will have committed crimes. But as parents, as people who morally should guide the young people in our nation, we should also step up so that we can deal with that challenge from a broader and all society approach. As a government, we are resolute in supporting the implementation of this plan, both plans actually, and together let us forge a future where the rule of law prevails, public safety is guaranteed, and Kenya's prosperity is built on a foundation of trust and security. So, IG Kanja and your team, I have said that I have confidence in the leadership of the NPS as it is. They have done the best that they could, and they have the support of the government of Kenya. And they have my personal support. I understand very well that our men in uniform security agencies operate in very difficult circumstances. Sometimes we don't appreciate enough the kind of challenges they face and the kind of support that they need. But I want our security men and women to know that I fully appreciate, the government of Kenya understands, and that is why we are going to go out of our way to make sure that the job that you do, the mandate that you have, we support you so that you can achieve it. Because if you succeed, then our security is guaranteed, the security of our properties is guaranteed, the stability of our nation is guaranteed, and the progress of Kenya is assured. So you have no choice but to succeed, and we will help you to do so. Whether it is making sure that we have the requisite terms of service to support you, the uniforms, the housing, the medicals, and all the other assets, including equipment and vehicles, we will go out of our way. I know that we haven't invested in the police in a long while, and that's why I made the decision that in the next 2 years, we're going to invest 28 billion to enhance the equipment, the operational environment of the police as we give you the tools to be able to discharge your responsibility and mandate in the Constitution to the people of Kenya. We will also continue to maintain and ensure the independence of the police so that you can make the right decisions without undue influence from whatever quarter. I also want to give you my assurance that we will defend the actions of the police that are within the law and any action that helps us to maintain peace and security in our country. We will also implore citizens to work with our security agencies, to respect our security agencies, to abide by the rule of law, and to make sure that we live within the parameters of what is provided by the Constitution. That way, we can all move together and secure our country. We have absolutely no reason, and there is no other way. This country must be secured. All other things, all other engagements, any other progress cannot happen unless we have peace, we have security, we have stability. It is the bedrock upon which we can build any meaningful progress going into the future. And you, as men in uniform and women in uniform, you are the people charged with that responsibility to make sure that we have peace, that we are secure, and that our country is stable. I know it is an onerous responsibility, but I promise you we will support you because you must achieve it. We cannot make progress in any other field unless our stability is guaranteed, unless our security is guaranteed. It is as serious as that, and therefore we are going to invest in the security of Kenya by investing in the police service and all the other security agencies that support our security, our stability, and ensures our progress. The two strategic plans of NPS and our prison service are now officially launched. Asante sana.
Thank you, Your Excellency, and we would like now to symbolically just have pressing of the buzzer for us to have those two strategic plans launched. I'll request that you kindly take our seats and allow me, Your Excellency, to invite the following to flank you. Let's have the PSS present in the House. Let's have the IG of Police, the SA National Police Service, Commissioner General of Prisons, and Balozi Neil Wigan, who is going to represent the development partners who have supported this process. Just to flank His Excellency, at which, when at the pressing of the buzzer, we'll have the official launch of the two strategic plans. So with them standing there, I'm just waiting for them to be in place, then we shall count down, Your Excellency, in 3, 2, 1. And the strategic plan is right here as we see it launched. And would like also, Your Excellency, just to hand over symbolically some of the copies. And for the first, we'll do the National Police Service to be presented to the CS, to the PCS, to be presented also to the PS Interior and the Inspector General. the strategic plan for the National Police Service to be presented by His Excellency to the Prime Cabinet Secretary, to the PS Interior, and to the Inspector General. If we can kindly, maybe for the sake of photos, have the rest step to a side a little bit so that we can have the three just for a photo opportunity, so that we have the PCS, the IG, and we also have one for the correctional services, where we have the PCS to be presented with one, the PS Correctional Services, and the Commissioner General as well to receive a copy. All actually can receive a copy. And also one for the development partners, one to be presented to His Excellency Neil Wigan to receive on behalf of the development partners. Thank you, Excellency. With that, we'll request that the rest of us may exit stage. Or for a photo, for a quick photo. Let's have a photo. And with that, we can take a photo of all of them. All right. And with that, okay, we still have one missing. And with that, we'll